Welcome to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed Podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Let's hit it. Let's hit it.
Sunday morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Wherever
This is
you
one
at.
of my favorite days. Used to be church and all that. Now it's football. I hate to say that, but I get up in the morning and have my devotion and what have you. It's not all the time all about church, even though I miss it. Just can't find a church nowadays. But since it's Sunday, I was just thinking, and I'm going to come back to what the day is Sunday, but the thing is that I've been very curious what's going on with men, because it seemed like they've been categorized, they've been ostracized, they've been really almost unnecessary.
Why you say that?
I said almost. Now, the thing is that these psychologists, they always got to put people in boxes. They analyze you to death, they do data, research, and they only have a few hundred people that they do their research on, and then they come to a hypothesis, and then, hey, this is what's going on with men, or this is going on with women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine and dandy. However, there's a thing called programming, taking it to another level. And so I'm going to read something to you. Well, I'm not going to read to you. Let's put it like this. They have put us in alpha males, beta males, Vegas males, gamma males, semis males, and on and on. And they put us in those little categories. And so therefore you have to figure out, well, what kind of male am I? Am I an alpha male? Am I a simp? Am I a omega? Am I a beta male? And so some of these males who's out there want to be alpha males, what they call alpha males. They the boss. They the head of their household. They got to be the leader. They're aggressive. Now, they have definitions for these different types of men. However, where is the freedom of being you? Because if you have certain males that read this garbage and they hear about it, a lot of people don't even understand, the real significance of what they're trying to do as far as put you in those categories. Then you run around and say, I have the personality of an alpha male. So now you're going to act like an alpha male. But it's not really you. Not spiritually, not mentally. So when you have these different categories, now what we were talking about yesterday, day before yesterday, you have the alpha male supposed to be the head of the household. He the boss. He the boss in the church. He the boss at the job. He the boss. Because he's the alpha male. One of the things that people try to think on that 45 is the alpha male. And a lot of people like him because of that. So they have been programmed to think that if you tough, regardless whether you're right or wrong, you tough. Or if you, they go around calling people beta males and simps and all that. You know, people that, you know, they claim that the beta male and the simps, they are pretty much submissive. So now, what am I leading to? The thing is that when people are getting into these categories, you end up doing certain things that are not kind. You're focusing on things that are selfish. You're focusing on things that are self-seeking. You are devoid of the ability to surrender wholeheartedly to God. There are a lot of these males, they try to make like this is where it's supposed to be. Well, according to the Bible, you know, they got standards and things that where men and women are supposed to be. Well, this is the world. We live in the world. That means we live in a free society. You heard of the ERA, right, Ed?
Mm-hmm. Equal Rights Amendment.
All right. Who was that for?
Women.
That's right. Has it been ratified?
Nah, that I don't know.
Well, it has been ratified in 38 states. However, there are certain states, mostly the South, 13 of them, have not ratified ERA. Now, the thing is that my question is, are women equal to men? When you have these different types of men that think these kinds of ways, a lot of men will never accept a woman to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that you can't mix politics and religion. That's just my own thing. Because if you're equal, if male and female is equal, and we know that women are just as smart as men, that's you playing politics. We're not talking about war. We're not talking about violence, hand-to-hand combat. We're not talking about you could pick up 700 pounds and she can only do 400. So the politics of it is a mental thing. It's a way of persuading and that type of thing. Now, when I listened to VP, when I listened to her, she was selling what she had to offer. And what did she have to offer that right now they're talking about getting rid of? She was going to strengthen education. She was going to provide housing.
Who is she?
I said earlier, the VP.
Okay.
So now, and she was going to give loans and make it available for businesses to start.
Okay.
Now, this administration is going in talking about tearing up everything. What they're going to do for the people. And I think what this is all about is about male dominance. Now, you might have put a few women in certain departments, but let me tell you, they're not going to be running nothing because they're going to be doing what Donald Trump says. They're going to be yes people. And Donald Trump going to be doing what his bosses tell him to do, whoever they are. So I think these religious people are getting mixed up as far as trying to equate what the Bible says to a certain degree to what we live, the country that we live in. We supposed to be living in a free country. Everyone should be equal. Now, how you do with your household is your household. How you do with your church is your church. But what you do outside of the political realm and what's going on, then you should not be able to put in your so-called ideology that's from religion. This is a free country, supposed to be. So that's what I want to say.
I'm still at a loss for what the point you were trying to make here for us going forward. So what's your point going forward here?
Well, the point is, I just, like my earlier statement, I said that men are lost.
They're what?
Most men are lost.
A loss. Okay, go ahead.
They don't know where they stand. They don't know who they are. Because all they're doing is following somebody else, not finding out who you really are. Who are you as a person? And then you try to copy out off of other people, and then you go by all of these different terms, the alpha male, the simp, the beta male, the omegas male, and all that kind of stuff. And then most of them don't even go into that. They just follow, and they have, you won't call them mentors, but people they follow. So I'm gonna act like him. I'm not gonna be nice. I'm not gonna be kind. I'm not gonna be respectful. I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna be selfish. I'm gonna be take charge guy, whether you like it or not. So I hear.
So when you said most men are virtually lost, are you talking about a specific group, or are you talking about all men?
All men. All men is mostly lost. They don't know themselves.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my opinion.
Okay. So, Ted, why did you bring this up on Sunday? Is it because of if it being the day of the church, or is it just that?
Well, I brought it up is because we are right now not only as a political transition, but we're living in a spiritual transition. And what I mean by that is that we are supposed to be living and walking in the Spirit as followers of Christ. Meaning that if you're a follower of Christ, you're going to be walking in an unforgiving spirit. You're not going to have pride. You're not going to have jealousy. You're not going to be moody. You're not going to be hardness. You're not going to be fretful. You're not going to have a lot of anxiety. You're going to be calm, cool, loving, kind, and respectful. Now, will you always be that way? No, because we are in a flesh. We battle against flesh and blood. That's our whole thing. My battle is with me. If I see myself say anything or do anything, thank God I have a checker in me, in my spirit, that say, Ted, you shouldn't have said that. I have a checker in my spirit, not necessarily Ted, you shouldn't have said that, but it'll have a feeling in me that, hey, I said the wrong thing, or I shouldn't have said it like that. You was too harsh, or you was too whatever, too mean. Because I know me. The Bible says, know thyself. I know me. I know I can be mean. I know I can be evil. I can be selfish. I can be all of those things. But I check myself so that I won't be. Because at any time, the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak. Now, will you yield to those temptations on a consistent basis? Now we have a bunch of men that's out there that's yielding to those temptations. They don't realize that, hey, Jesus said it himself. They said it himself. Be kind. Be loving. You have to walk in love. You can't walk in evilness. You can't walk in hatred. You can't walk in selfishness or meanness or, selfishness. That's a big word, selfishness. That's a big word, bro, because a lot of people right now, that's what's going on. They're selfish. They don't want to share. They might do a little, I just saw Bezos, and I'll use him as an example. He sent $6 million to the people in the hurricane in North Carolina. Are you kidding me? That's like a couple of quarters for him. Are you kidding me? Now, if he would have said 600 million, but 6 million, bro, come on, Ed. That's a slap in the face. $6 million. Get out of here, man, with your...
You can't even put in a 2 miles of road for $6 million.
He gonna donate 6 million. I wouldn't even told nobody that. He could have gave it to about a half a dozen families so they can build their houses back. Man, come on, and you can do what you want. I'm not knocking him. That's what he want to do. That's fine.
I'm gonna ask you a question. If we got the Bible open up, and you wanted to point out in the Bible the place where this country is at right now, what book would it be in the Old Testament? Would it be in the New Testament? And what book would it be in and stuff that tells us about what's going on right now?
I would say Matthews, Galatians. Romans. It could be any of those that tell us what's going on. The Bible tells you what's going on right now, all through the Bible. All through the Bible, and what it is, and what it all boils down to is the man's heart. It's the man's heart. It's selfishness. That's what it is. It's, and there's nothing wrong with it. I ain't knocking nobody from being a billionaire or a millionaire or all of that. And, and everybody got to get, according to them, I got to get mine. I got to get mine. When you got, you said you studied Brazil, we can switch it up. And you say you studied.
Because I'm trying
You
to
said you
to
studied Brazil. By any chance, did you go on YouTube and look at YouTube Brazilians?
well, I didn't go on YouTube and do it with Brazil. I just went and did a Google search and stuff on Brazil and the country as a whole. And we talked about them yesterday, and you were saying that you don't know how their GDP and everything was what 2.3 trillion dollars and stuff and everything right now.
2 trillion.
2 trillion. Okay, and you didn't understand how the economy and stuff was uh, uh, being valued at $2 trillion for their
Not
GDP.
value. That's how much money they made. That's the
Right,
revenue of
right.
their corporations, and their
And
GDP came up to $2 trillion.
and so I went and looked at it and stuff to figure out how they got there. Well, they have a man. If I had um, to gauge and stuff, the difference between their country and our country, I think I would put their country into our country because they have man, you can't imagine the stuff, the amount of stuff that they have, natural resources and stuff in their country that's been untapped. They have been, they said for 150 years they've been the largest producer and exporter of coffee. Uh, they got gold. They have all kind of precious metals and stuff there in their country. They have they're exporting a lot of the agriculture. They are feeding their country and they're exporting uh, food and everything to other countries and stuff and everything. We found out that China is one of their biggest countries that they're exporting and everything and stuff to, and China does a vast amount of business and stuff with them, importing and exporting into that country. I, but the only problem that I saw and everything with the difference and stuff with their country and everything is that there was so much upheaval and stuff within their country that it wasn't a very stable and political and economic environment and stuff. There was so much stuff going on. They especially in politics, they couldn't keep. Uh, they were for a while there. They were impeaching their presidents and stuff almost every 2 or 3 years. So it was man, I just couldn't imagine and stuff them being a stable country and stuff and everything and doing and using what they have. They have one of the largest land mass and stuff in South America. Uh, they have that Amazon forest and stuff that is sitting there, parts of it and everything is sitting there and everything, and they are not really using that resource and everything. They do have a lot of tourism and stuff that's coming in there, but they said that 63 or 64% of the GDP and stuff comes from their service industry, not their natural resources. And I found that, oh man, I found out that how could they do that? How can they you have service and stuff and everything overcome their natural resources? But they did. So, but they do have a very, very high crime rate, very high. They, their murder rate and stuff is one of the top four and stuff in the world, and they have one of the third largest prison systems and stuff in the world behind China and the United States. Matter of fact, we incarcerate more people in the United States than anybody in the world, over 2.2 million people. But
In prisons or in jail.
in prison,
So that means another million is in jail every day.
well, they have the third largest prison population in the world, and they have one of the top murder rates and stuff in the world. The number was staggering. as far as murder was concerned, and they were talking about the corruption and crime and stuff in their political system and everything, that there's uh, so much upheaval and stuff there. You can't keep no leader and stuff in the country, and the people and stuff are constantly rebelling against their leaders and stuff. They don't even give them a chance to try to rebuild their country at all. So, but like I said, if I had a choice, I think I would take their country before I would take mine, as far as having the things and stuff that you can build upon and do something and stuff about and become a very profitable country. I think, my personal opinion.
Okay, well, let me just tell you something. What did we say they had? 213 million population?
I think
213 million.
according to what I just read, it was a little bit more than that.
Well, that's the number
Yeah,
I got, 213.
yeah. I think the number I got was like almost 300 million. But go ahead.
This they have a percentage of $6.85 per capita per day.
Yeah, that was real bad, man. I couldn't imagine anybody living off of $2.35 a day. Go ahead.
If you ever looked at some of the YouTubes and people try to tell you about, there's always a great side because there's a lot of rich people live in Brazil. A lot of people
Yeah, they
live
said
there who came from other countries and all that stuff.
they said they had quite a few billionaires and stuff who
Yeah.
lived there and there. Yeah,
However, the poverty rate there is extremely high, and the living conditions for the people that live in poverty is just unlivable.
right.
I mean, we seen it back in the South, back in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, I think theirs is worse. Their barrios and stuff is a heck of a lot worse than what we used to have down in the South. A lot worse. But and there's a lot of people and stuff who live in those barrios. A lot of folks who stay up in there, and I don't even believe that even Brazil knows how many people live in those barrios. And most of their crime comes out of those barrios. People are killing each other, just like they're doing in our inner city. They just killing off people, and they kind of bottle that up into that little area there, and the rest of the people who live outside that area and everything are prospering very well.
Well, there you go.
That's the I guess that's the method that all countries and stuff are using. They take their crime and all the evils and stuff and everything, and they put it in one area, and they try to control it in that area. And it's going on here, and I see it's going on down there in Brazil. So
Yep.
I don't know. It's your first stuff there, Ted, got my mind and stuff all screwed up when you start talking about the alpha male and all of that. I'm still, my mind is still bouncing back to that because I, I'm, oh man, I'm confused and stuff by that. I really am. I'm sitting here and everything, and I just, no matter what I'm talking about Brazil, but my mind is still sitting on what you just said. Oh
Well, like
man,
I said, the
but
spirit
go
is
ahead.
weak.
We're gonna go forward though and
The
everything because
flesh is weak. The spirit is willing. The flesh is
I'm
weak.
gonna let what you said simmer in my mind. And tomorrow when we come on, I'm gonna give you my interpretation of what I think is going on and stuff there because you brought something up there that they bad that's got me because I'm trying to figure out and I'm gonna go back to that. You said something about the ERA and that you have 13 states here in the South who
Well,
have not ratified.
you got a couple of states that's in the east, Arizona.
But we're going to specifically talk about those 13 states that you talked about because I think that in relationship to what you just said, it it also piggybacks on a lot of other things and stuff and everything that is going on
Yeah,
within those
that's
13
why I brought
states
it
and
up,
stuff
bro.
like that, other than the ERA. It's these 13 states were one of the main ones who did not accept the Affordable Care Act, which hurt them quite a bit and stuff as far as healthcare was concerned. Is still concerned because some of these states still have not accepted the dollars and stuff that's coming out of the federal government for their healthcare system and stuff here, especially here in Georgia. They've loosened up some of the restrictions and stuff there, but they still have pushed out that federal dollars and stuff to coming in here. And oh man,
Let me give you the states: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Utah, and Virginia.
Did you put in Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alabama was first.
I didn't hear it. Okay, go ahead. Oh yeah, that's all down through here. Was North Carolina in there?
Yes.
South Carolina too.
Yep.
Okay, that's all of them there. That's all them down there in that thing there that voted for him.
And you had Arizona too now, and Missouri.
Yeah, they all of that. They voted for him.
Oklahoma.
They voted for him. That's that EIA mentality. Equal rights of member. They don't when they want no women running nothing. So I'm perplexed and stuff by that too because I I don't know how we get past that. I really don't because it's been going on for decades and stuff now. That mentality that men have to be in charge and the women cannot do anything. And to see our VP and stuff and everything, who is she is absolutely qualified. A heck, she's more qualified 10 times as much as the person that they put there, are getting ready to put there in the White House. But because she's a woman, man, I can't get over that. It just it's
Well, the thing, what you just said,
yeah.
what do you do about these other
Yeah.
states?
What do we
And
do about that? Because
I just told you, man, the
if
mentality.
we don't, no, you didn't give us a profound reason as to how we can get past that.
Well, get past it. That's another thing. Because see, when you have these different categories of men, and the alpha male is the one, and those that pretend that they're alpha males or want to be alpha males or try to have the characteristics of a alpha male, those people will never change because some things are just innate. That's just who they are. But you got a lot of pretenders and fakers and whatever. Hey, it is what it is. But it's a personality order. I guess I don't know. I try to keep myself at an even keel and try to, be compromising and also at the same time know when to take charge. You know, but I'm not perfect and nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody says things that they shouldn't say. But when you have that mentality as a whole, then what happens is that it messes up the flow of what people are trying to do, the goodness that people are trying to do. Because to be good is it's a thing that it's a show of weakness when you're trying to do good. I was listening to this conference that they had in the BRICS organization, and they had this woman who's in charge of the world international organization. And she was saying stuff, man, that was just eating up Putin. They had several people just eating them up, talking about helping the poor and getting so much money. They just passed a $300 billion program for these undeveloped countries and what have you to try to help them with a lot of things. But the point is,
this is that brick coalition you're talking about now?
yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
They let her speak, and she spoke her mind, bro. She spoke her mind, and she was
Where was she
getting
from? Where was she from? What country was she
Oh
from?
man, I'm gonna have to. She sounded like she was from Germany or from some other
Okay.
Czechoslovakia or something like that. But I'm just saying, on generally speaking, um, the thing is, man, and I think who started this is President Obama. President Obama went all over the world talking about lifting up some of these undeveloped countries and helping them. There was too many people dying, too many wars in Saudi Arabia, different places. And I think he sort of he persuaded a lot of the people around the world to his ideology. Because his thing was he wanted to lift up America, but at the same time he wanted to lift up the world too, as far as their GDP, doing capitalism, doing certain things as far as supporting them financially. We have given billions of dollars to these world organizations, to help other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just think that if you're doing goodness is is frowned upon. Doing the right thing is frowned upon. When I mean frown is not the right word, but that's the only word I can come up with.
If all during this whole campaign from the time that the VP and stuff had Biden's uh, had Biden's support to become the Democratic nominee and stuff for the president, the the Republican Party and stuff and everything was dead set on top of Trump and everything, and they were going to make sure that he was their nominee, and they just said that he had to be that because of the amount of people that he had who were following him, who were fanatics and stuff for him. No matter what the heck he said, they follow him religiously. But when she became the nominee, it took them a while to kind of gauge and stuff what was going on within the Democratic Party and how she had just swooped in and just overwhelmed the Democratic Party. It was like it was everybody was just they were up on it. But I noticed something that happened and stuff with when she finally got in there, and I think it started and stuff when Trump went to that the this not a debate, but he went to the conference and stuff for the National Association of Black Journalists, uh, and he started calling this her. Is she white? Is she black? And from that point on, he denigrated her. No matter what, she was a DEI. She was dumb. And he kept saying that all the time. Anytime he had a rally, she's dumb. They dumb. She's dumb. And I thought it was really asinine and stuff on his part to just come out and say it because most people knew the lady wasn't dumb. But he just kept saying it. She's dumb. She's dumb. She's dumb. And I always thought that that wasn't going to work. But it looked like it has, because even after a certain point, and she was in that debate with him. I mean, everybody, even Fox News had to tell him, man, she beat the crap out of you. So how can we turn around and keep on saying that she's dumb? But when the individual news agencies like CNN and MSNBC, they sent their people out to these certain areas and stuff in the country, and they did a survey with the people in the country. When they went to Wisconsin, when they had the Republican National Convention there, they did a group session and stuff. And I'm sitting there and listening to these women say, she's dumb. I mean, they had like 10 or 15 people in there, and half of them were women, old big old fat white women, and they were asking them questions about her, and they all to the person, well, she's dumb.
And half of them don't even have a college degree.
Yeah, and they were eating that up because Trump said she was dumb. She was dumb, and they ate it up. And I don't know if this was one of the reasons and stuff why they decided to vote for him or not, because nobody ever looked at him or asked him a question or even said he's dumb. And he was. You know, he got to be the dumbest son of a gun in the world that we got sitting up there. He can't. They have to give him cartoon pictures for his
Security.
his security meetings and stuff, because he can't concentrate on reading anything. So if anybody is dumb, but they believed him, and I can't believe it. And like and November the 5th, man, gonna be in my heart for a long, long, long time. How they sat down there and ate this crap up that this man gave them, and they put their country right back in his hands. I don't know, man. So this is the reason and stuff why I'm trying to figure out how do we get this our narrative or however we want to put it, because I think that she was probably one of the best candidates and stuff that we could ever have, other than Barack Obama, to be there in the White House. And
Well, the question is, do she really want it? That's the question.
does she what?
Do she really want it? Because if she really wants it, hey, right after the inauguration, I would
We'll
say
find out.
March.
We'll find out if she really wants it. We'll find out. That question is going to be answered probably in the next year. It'll be answered. Does she really want to do it? Go at it again? Does she really want it? I see Hillary didn't. She just left. She said, "No, forget this mess," and left after her defeat. She
was thinking about it, bro.
she was, but she still left. Her heart was not in it. I think that 2016 election, man, took a lot out of her, a lot out of her. It took a lot out of her. I think, Ted, that what is going to happen and stuff after the inauguration and everything, when these folks and stuff try to enact some of those things that they were trying to that they had put into their 2025 project, and they try to do something against uh, Miss Cheney, or they try to uh, court martial those generals and everything. I think at that point in time and stuff, we're going to tell how strong and powerful and stuff our country is and how democratic and stuff we want to be. Because I can see, man, in the I'm reading the tea leaves now that we're looking at a mutiny. We're looking at a mutiny. We're looking in the face of a mutiny to where supposedly our commander in chief is not going to have any power because his military is going to rise up against him. And when that happens, you talking about destabilizing this country.
Well, you know what they got behind them? Or I should say in front of them? The Constitution.
Hopefully, it will keep us together. Hopefully.
They have the Constitution.
Because I truly believe in stuff, and you seeing quietly some of these military folks and stuff and everything setting up a scenario to resist this man.
Well, that's our only saving grace. Because let's face it, bro. The Democrats, it wasn't her, it was them. Whoever is in charge and giving her all this information and telling her what to do, giving her advice. The buck stops with her, yes. But these people are so persuasive in the way they do things. I mean, I'm listening to different stories on how much money. I knew for a fact already a month ago, 2 months ago, that a month ago, she had spent over $300 million just in Pennsylvania.
A lot of money, man. Political campaigns it's becoming more expensive to it as the years go by. Politics has become more expensive because we have no idea, Ted, how much those billionaires and stuff spent to put Trump into the
I just
office.
heard Brown this morning say they spent over $375 or $80 million for that one Senate seat.
Hey, the politics becoming expensive, man. To buy these seats, man, these people are these money folks, man, they are putting their money out there. They're using that money as leverage. And I'm telling you, man, money does change people and money does get things done.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I think I said this the last show before. You cannot be waiting for a year or
Mm-mm.
6 months to try to contact these people. You got to educate these people, and it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of money
Take a lot of
to
everything.
get these people out here and teach them, and then you got to deliver. When people when you go to these black neighborhoods and these so-called poor neighborhoods or these so-called other groups, you got to deliver. I mean, you can't. You sit there and they say, "Well, this is what's happening, and this is what's happening. This is what we need change." You got to listen. You can't just pick and choose a few white folks and a few black folks. You got to listen to everybody. You can't just listen to a few, and especially those people that's just barely surviving. The mother and the father is working at home every day, or just the mother every day, and they just survive. And they
Well,
not talking about money. It's not the money. It's protection.
we have to do. If I'm sitting there looking at this party, our party and stuff, I'm trying to figure out how do I get those. How many did they say? 50-some million people who didn't vote.
I mean, I heard 20, as high as 20. It might have been more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think Stacy said there was a lot more than that did not vote in this country, and those 20-some million people who didn't vote, and I think could have made the difference and stuff for us. So It's evidently their Get Out the Vote campaign did not do what they expected it to do.
Well, I think she went the wrong way myself. I mean, personally, as far as trying to get these Republicans to vote.
Well, Ted,
And you know, and these
Ted, those dissatisfied Republicans and stuff, Ted, may be our saving grace after January the 20th. Those dissatisfied Republicans, they have not left, and they are still there. They are still there. There are people and stuff who are still there, and they are still sitting in some very, very powerful positions and stuff out there and everything. And I think they're going to be maybe that saving grace, other than the military. They might be our saving grace and stuff and everything, and decide to let him have some stuff, but not let him have his ultimate things that he wants to have. They could be our saving grace. I don't know. I'm speculating and stuff right now, because I still believe that there are some people and stuff there in his party and stuff who are in those seats there in Congress and in the Senate who don't like that Samagon at all. They do not like him. They are just quiet and are tolerating him, and they found out that the American public and stuff is not ready to throw him out yet. But somebody has to come forth and everything and stand up and say, hey, man, we ain't going to let this stuff happen. And it may happen, man. We may see that. I don't know. We may see it. Now, you're right. She probably did some bad stuff. And I think Trump did some bad stuff, too, and everything, his campaign.
oh, big time.
Yeah. He did some real ugly stuff and everything. Because this last week or so of campaigning and stuff was horrible. There were people who wasn't even showing up at his rally. And that was one of the things that a lot of these news medias and stuff were pointing at. These people not even showing up at his rallies and stuff, so they must not be drinking the Kool-Aid. But there were people who didn't come, and the other folks who didn't show up, they just said, "Heck, I ain't voting for him, and I ain't voting for her."
Well, let me ask you this: what is that satellite dish that Elon Musk has?
They call it Starlink.
Well, somebody brought this up, and I don't know how true this is. You know, each one of these voting places have their own mechanism, right?
Yeah.
But it has to be transferred.
Right. To the state capitals.
Is that when that thing started changing?
No. His Starlink, Ted, is for most of the people out in South Dakota and Wyoming and Montana and places like that. But in your major areas and stuff and everything, your Spectrum, your AT&T, your Comcast and everything, they're the ones who are transporting the internet stuff and everything to these different municipalities. They're not using that, especially these large areas. They're not using that. But because his Starlink is mainly for people who are out in those outlying areas and in the other countries and stuff, like in Australia, out there in the outback and stuff. Those are people that are using his stuff and everything. Really strong with it. Now, so that theory you got, it ain't happened. Closing argument.
Well, my thing is, be yourself. Don't be persuaded by all of these different classifications of men. You know, there was a guy that was on TV past, his name was Kevin something. And he used to always talk about the alpha male and the woman should be in her place and all that kind of stuff. It's a big deal for about 2, 3, maybe 4 years. And he persuaded a lot of people, black males especially, that a woman can't do nothing for you if you making the money, because all she's supposed to do is stay home, make babies, and take care of you. And basically, that's a class of men that's out there. And I'm talking about not just black men, I'm talking about white men. He used all kinds of examples. So
Hispanic
I'm just
men.
saying, be yourself, man. Don't let these people persuade you as far as that goes, And then the women that want those type of men, they're gonna want those kind of men, because if you got a big car and a nice place, and they're gonna be attracted. We used to call them, what we used to call them, gasoline girls.
Mm-hmm.
Because half of us, when we had a car, oh, she just followed me. She ain't nothing but a gasoline girl because I got a car.
Mm-hmm.
So
This thing also, Ted, might be able to, if it can be explained and given to them in the right way. I remember back when Bill Cosby had his show, and he would have the Cosby Show on, and he was talking to his son about his lessons and stuff that he was doing in school. And he spoke to him about, you can have a plate here, and you got potatoes, you got your green beans, you got your meat, you got all the other little stuff on there and everything. And if you throw it on the plate and everything, people ain't going to accept it. But it's the presentation. If you just put, this right here and this over here and that over here and set it up real nice and neat and everything, folks will pay big money for that, because if you present it to them right, then they can be able to tolerate it, that they can be able to digest it. So maybe if the presentation and stuff and everything is sitting out there for these folks and stuff, and say, okay, yes, she is a woman, but she's taking care of the house. That's all she's doing. She's taking care of the house. The man's still out there. You still out there doing the work, but she's just taking care of the house for you. And that might be able to be tolerable and stuff for them, because most of them are looking at, well, I got to stand behind her and I got to look up to her and everything. Now, just like we are, Tim, I let my wife go out. You let your wife go out. Hey, we okay. I'm okay with that, because we understand the dynamics of what they had going on. So she's not going to get out there and do too much more. She's going to come back there and say, well, Ted, I did this and I did this and I did that. And you're going to say, all right, baby. Or I'm going to say the same thing with my wife. I did this, I did that. She did that this morning and stuff. I said, okay, I'm fixing dinner, Thanksgiving dinner for everybody. Is this okay? I went out and got some mustard greens, and I got this, and I got all that, and I'm sitting there too, and everything. So, okay. You take care of the house. So I'm okay with that, because I'm still the boss. We still the head of the household, and they treat us like that. If we can present that, maybe they'd be able to tolerate it.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good analogy. The presentation. How do you make that presentation edible so that they can?
Yeah. How do we make it edible for them? How do we do that? That's the point. That's my thing. That's the ending thing that I got to say, because I said you got to get back out here because somebody came over there and beat you over the head. So, bye-bye, people. Me and Ted, see y'all guys tomorrow in the evening. Bye-bye.